Remember, Republicans eat their young.
I'm just getting to know Tim Walz, but come on, what's not to like?
I got to tell you, pointing out just an observation of mine that I made. I just have to say it. You know it, you feel it. These guys are creepy, and yes, just weird as hell. That's what you see. That's what you see.
Now Trump, of course, is shitting his pants, even more than normal. Because Trump knows what Walz brings to the ticket. A guy who is strong, dependable, and immensely likable. But hey, if you don't believe me, ask this guy.
I know Governor Walz was on the phone, and we spoke, and I fully agree with the way he handled it the last couple of days. 3 days later, I spoke to the governor. The governor's an excellent guy. Again, I was very happy with the last couple of days.
Yeah, our city is grieving and in pain. And I would just say, as far as the potential, the peaceful protesters who are expressing an outrage that is real. They witnessed 8 minutes of a man dying in front of them. Well, at that point in time, I did something unprecedented. I mobilized the entire Minnesota National Guard.
Ouch! Play that again.
The governor's an excellent guy.
That, of course, surprises no one. Walz is a great guy, a great leader, and the kind of guy who does deals with a handshake. And everyone likes him. But let me ask you something. Is there a Republican who actually likes other Republicans? Because it seems like all they do is stab each other in the back.
I can't stomach Trump. I think that he's noxious and is leading the white working class to a very dark place. He's leading our political discourse to a very negative place. If Trump is elected president, he has to be a much different president than he was a candidate. As a candidate, he was fundamentally divisive, arrogant. I'm a never Trump guy.
This man is a pathological liar, a narcissist at a level I don't think this country's ever seen.
Last week's violent attack on the Capitol was undemocratic, un-American, and criminal.
He doesn't sweat. He doesn't sweat because his pores are clogged from the spray tan that he uses.
My view of what happened January the 6th, and we're here. We saw what happened. It was a violent insurrection.
There is no way that the American people are going to vote for a convicted criminal. They're not.
But of course, all these little spineless piglets come back and now support Trump. Because in all of them combined, there isn't an ounce of the integrity that this 24-year Army vet, teacher, father, and governor has in his back pocket.
So you know what's out there, so say it with me. We aren't going back. We aren't going back. We are not going back.
Walz gets it done and is a huge addition to the ticket. And whatever it is, he and Kamala have it in spades.
Just yesterday in the state of Florida, they decided middle school students will be taught that enslaved people benefited from slavery. They insult us in an attempt to gaslight us, and we will not stand for it.
It's reflected in the culture, the headlines, and most importantly, the polls. Harris is ahead and isn't backing down.
We aren't going back.
And even though I love Governor Shapiro from Pennsylvania.
And are you ready to look the next president of the United States in the eye and say, hello, Madam President? I am too, so let's get to work.
Walz has strength and likability, two traits that Tiny Fingers has never possessed.
Well, Hillary used to do that, too. I remember she got Bruce Springsteen. I'm not a huge fan. I have a bad trait. I only like people that like me. Yeah? Does that make sense?
But Walz isn't just liked, he's respected. You heard, even Fat Donnie acknowledged that. And he and Kamala inspire crowds, big crowds.
We'll come to America when we host the Los Angeles Olympics. And by the way, which I was president, we happened to get it.
And it's killing Trump because his crowds are going,
and I will not give one penny.
Freud used to talk about penis envy. And while Donnie Diaper has that problem too.
Why did you body shame him? Why did you do that? And that's not something I would normally do. You know what I mean? I only did it because he called me a liar. Hey, Mr. Trump, all you have to do to prove I'm lying right now, drop your pants.
Trump's biggest fear is not having power over the rubes who once supported him and who are now drifting away.
I grew up in the church. Character and morals and values are big to me and my family. The hardest thing to watch in the last 4 or 5 years with all of this has been the evangelical Christians sell out to this false prophet.
Watch his malignant narcissism on display as he tries to blame empty seats, not on the fire marshal, but intellectuals at Georgia State University.
School people there's some seats right up there. They could let them come in. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing. Let the people come in. They're standing outside, thousands of them. Let them come in. It's obviously, Marjorie, a very liberal school, I guess, right? I'm not happy with the school. Let them come in.
It's almost funny, except that his sickness is very dangerous. We saw his racism on display.
I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black.
And now he uses that same dog whistle on a black woman.
And she happens to be really a low IQ individual. She really does. She has a very low IQ. We don't need a low IQ. President Xi of China said, oh, good, we have another one, a low IQ individual. They love dealing with low IQ. They love dealing with low IQ people, and they got him here, I'll tell you. We got them all.
First of all, listen to his voice. Something's wrong.
Individual, she really does. She has a very low IQ.
There's something seriously wrong with the guy. But also take his comments on face value. Harris graduated college and law school and was a successful attorney general and then a U.S. senator and now vice president. Trump? His Wharton professor nailed it. He was and is the dumbest goddamn student he ever taught.
The difference, I said, well, we got millions of more votes, as you know that too. But we're not going to let that happen again. Ready? The two words are Merry Christmas. She doesn't want anybody saying Merry Christmas. Now she's denying it, and then they found the tape last night. She's such a liar. She denies all this stuff. She wants the government to stop people from eating red meat. She wants to get rid of your cows. No more cows.
Trump has never won the popular vote in an election, and even in 2016 couldn't handle the truth, so he lied and said Democrats brought 3 million Mexicans into the U.S. to vote for Hillary. 3 million? I think somebody might have noticed that, right?
No, it's not democracy. Remember the words they use? They are a threat to democracy. They've been saying that about me for 7 years. I think I got shot because of that, okay? People said, he's a threat to democracy. No, I'm the one that is saving democracy. It's true.
That was all true, except for everything that came out of his mouth. He wasn't almost shot. Some glass nicked his ear. It was by a 20-year-old MAGA nut who wanted to worship him in the afterlife. That sounds normal. But as far as democracy, well, Trump did this.
I picked up the phone and the president asked me where I was on the electoral count that would take place that day. And I told him, despite what you issued last night from your campaign, Mr. President, I've been very clear that I don't have the authority to reject votes during the electoral count or return those votes to the states. And it went downhill from there.
Yeah, he begged his vice president to violate the Constitution by invalidating the votes of Americans. Yeah, that's democratic. But as Trump's numbers start sliding, he and JD are in a quandary. How will they stem the tide of Harris's ascent?
By a bunch of childless cat ladies.
JD, that's not going to work. But Kamala's rise in the polls are reflected in her decision to choose Walz. He's a normal guy who commands respect simply because he's a regular person who sees hope in our country, unlike this dumpster fire.
Donald Trump is rattled.
Donald Trump's speech in Atlanta, Georgia was a total disaster.
He's upset.
There was an entire section that was fairly empty. Donald Trump blamed the school.
School administration stopped us from getting another 500, 600, even 1,000 people in.
He's mad.
Kamala, she was here a week ago, lots of empty seats.
Not enough people want to go to his rallies anymore. They want to go to Kamala Harris's. Enjoy the rallies while they last, Donald, because pretty soon you're not going to have any.
In the past, the vice president was someone who stood in the back and attended funerals in Europe. But that's all changed.
These guys are creepy and, yes, just weird as hell. That's what you see. That's what you see.
Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are the real thing, ready to step out and change our country and the world. Trump and JD, I think they're inside on the couch.
Damn right.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Trust me.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Who's with me?
Oh, yeah, the lie.
Indictable.
Out of sheer morbid curiosity, I'm allowing this freak show to continue.
This isn't their Republican Party anymore.
I don't want to talk about this stuff.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, right.
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.